What is going on, YouTube family? It is your main man, Maximilian, and I'm back at it again with another game-changing video. I hope everybody's doing well. First and foremost, before I begin, congratulations to the class of 2025. Shout out to y'all for putting in the hard work all throughout this year. I know what it feels like. And just wanted to say congratulations, no matter what school you went to, what kind of degree it was. Definitely props to you, because it is a journey and a grind. So major props to you. All the best. Congratulations to the class of 2025. Now, with that said, I'm going to continue with this video. If you're new, please like, subscribe, and do me a big favor, follow me on Instagram at KingMaxMillion. It would be much appreciated. I'm really trying to grow, man, and have some influence on the people that I touch. So, without further ado, let me get into this video. As you can see from the title, here's why Adelphi was the best choice for me in terms of what college I was going to attend. So, in this video, I'm just going to talk about my university, or no, should I say my alma mater, Adelphi University. As a matter of fact, got the hat right here and got my full name on it right there. As you can see, it's kind of twisted, but it says Maximilian. That's my full name. And it has the year I graduated, 2022. So, that is 3 years ago. So, basically, I graduated from Adelphi University 3 years ago. I'm the class of 2022. Bachelor's degree of arts. So, I got a bachelor's of arts degree in communications. So, that's what I studied. And for those wondering, what do you want to do with that? Where do you want to take that? I basically want to become an on-air talent or a broadcaster. That's my main thing. That's why I got a YouTube channel. That's why I'm doing things like acting and modeling. I just want to get myself out there. I'm a very personable person. And, you know, I just like having a good time and communicating and talking to people. Get it? Got it? Good. All right. So, basically, I'm going to start from my senior year of high school, going into college. And as the time goes on, I'll tell you about what I did at Adelphi, how it impacted me, and I want to give a special shout out to a few people. So that's the way this video is going to go. And of course, stay till the end, because it really means a lot to me that those who I have ran into at Adelphi and those who have made a lasting impact while I was there, I really want to give them kudos and some of their flowers. I want to give them flowers. So if you stay till the end, maybe you hear yourself. You never know. But anyway, let me just begin. So when it comes to the college process, it was 2018 for me. I was a late bloomer, and what that means is I came down to pretty much the last couple weeks in deciding what school I was going to go to. There were a variety of reasons. So for me, for those who don't know who I am, maybe this is the first time you've heard about me, or who is this guy, so to speak. I'm Maximilian Robinson. I'm from New Jersey, and I've done some things such as acting, modeling, and I've competed in basketball. So that's my main sport. So at the time, 2018, I had dreams and aspirations of playing college basketball. I wanted to play in college because that was a dream of mine. However, something happened in the midst of that year. So basically, I was, during my senior year, thinking ahead of time, because I was asking myself, what if basketball doesn't work out? And for those who don't know my story, I didn't really play in high school. Like, I didn't play much of high school basketball. I only played freshman basketball in high school. So pretty much I was going against the grain when it comes to trying to play in college. But I was still good. I was still pretty interested. I still wanted to give it a shot if there was a chance to walk on or something like that. But I was thinking ahead of time, and what I did was, me and my younger sister, we basically signed up for an acting class, or acting classes, I should say. It was a 6-month course that went from September of 2017 to February of 2018. And at the end of that course, you're put in front of 5 Hollywood Showcase agents. So it's called the Hollywood Showcase of Agents. And basically, as you go and present yourself to them, you read a script and a monologue. And then after you're done that, there's 5 panelists or 5 agents, and they have the ability to ask you questions about who you are, what you're doing, and things like that. So to cut it short, I went in there after, so I did the acting classes for 6 months, my senior year. I went to the Hollywood Showcase of Agents. It wasn't in Hollywood. It was in New York, because that's where this acting school was based out of. So I went there, read my script, read my monologue, and then one of the agents asked me a couple questions about, hey, are you in school? And I said, yes, I attend South Brunswick High School in Monmouth Junction, New Jersey. He also asked, do I play sports? I said, yes. At the time, I played basketball, I ran track, and I've done football when I was a lot younger. When I was in middle school, I did football. So I told him all of that. And then after that, pretty much he said, thank you for your time. I hope you have a great day. I said the same thing back, and I walked out. So I didn't know what to expect from that, because I did it for fun. And eventually, what I heard was from people that were in that same acting class as me, or in that 6-month course, they told me, if you basically hear back from one of the agents, from the Hollywood Showcase of Agents, it would have to be within a week of you doing your audition in front of them. So that's what I was anticipating. And basically, what had happened was, I kid you not, pretty much a week later, I hear and get an email back from one of the Hollywood Showcase of Agents people. So he reached out to me via email. He's like, hey Max, what's going on? This is Charlie. I just want to know when you're free and available. I would like to see you in my office. Just give me a time when you're free and we can meet up. So basically what I did was, I gave him a time, set it up, went to his office in New York City, and basically he spoke to me, said he liked what he saw at the Hollywood Showcase of Agents, and at the end of it, he wanted to sign me to a contract to become a professional actor and model. So I took that opportunity, I signed the paper, and I officially, at the age of 17, became a professional actor and model. So now, many of you might wonder, well, why did you go to school? Or maybe you're not wondering that. But all I'm saying is, that acting contract changed a lot of things in my life. So, at the time, I really wanted to play college basketball. I was being recruited, and I am telling you, from some of the previous videos, I'll include 2 videos of my first official college basketball offer from Malone University and my first unofficial college basketball offer from St. John Fisher College. Those were 2 schools that were recruiting me to come play for them. But when I signed that acting contract, it kind of changed things because at the time, the NCAA, so the National College of American Athletics, I think that's what it's called, something like that. If you correct me, whatever, that's cool. But the NCAA, they did not allow college athletes to be paid for name, image, and likeness. So what that means is if I went to school and I was getting paid for my name, image, and likeness, no matter what it was, I would be ineligible to play college basketball. So me being an actor, going to school, and if I made or played on the college basketball team in NCAA rules, that would probably jeopardize me playing for the team. So I knew that before signing the contract, and I looked at that and I said, man, I'm still going to give it a shot, but it's not looking like it's going to happen for me. So that helped to alter my college decision, if I'm being honest with you. But I still think, looking back, I made the right choice. So signing that acting contract, it came down to the final weeks of April, because I think in May, that's when like college decision day is or something like that. You can correct me if I'm wrong. You know, it might have changed over the years. I don't know. But college decision day was in May at the time. And so it came down to the last week of April for me. And I decided to check out Adelphi University because where it's located, it's in New York City, or not New York City, but it's in Long Island, New York, but it's right next to the city. So that was a good thing for me because I wanted to be close to my agent or my agency. So whenever they needed me for auditions or anything like that in the city, I wouldn't be too far away. Like I said, some of the other schools I was looking at that were recruiting me for basketball and things like that, the one school, Malone University, that's in Canton, Ohio. And St. John Fisher College, that was a school in New York, but it was up in Rochester, so it's very far away. So Adelphi University was a school that was close enough for me to be not too far away from the city, because whenever I have auditions to act on television, it was right there. And then also, it wasn't too far away from my house. I'm from New Jersey, so the school itself is about 2 hours away from where I live currently, even now, because I had moved to the house that I currently stay in. This house is where I lived during my college tenure. So basically, it's always been 2 hours away from Adelphi. So it wasn't that far away from home. I was able to commute back to home whenever I can, and then be able to go to the city for auditions and modeling events and so on and so forth. So I made the decision to select Adelphi because it gave me the best opportunity to maximize my talents and my efforts. Also knowing that it's a big city, you're going into communications, so New York is where all media is. So that's perfect place to go. And the last thing I want to mention, this kind of carries on into my first year there. So I had previously spoken to the assistant coach of the basketball team at Adelphi University. His name was Nick Stanton. So I had spoken to him, and basically he was telling me, hey, I can't guarantee you a spot on the NCAA Division II team, but what I can do is I can allow you to play for our basketball team that we have called our club team. So at Adelphi, you know how most schools, they have the NCAA team, but then they also have like a recreational team. So our school, Adelphi University, or my school I should say, has 3 teams. It has the NCAA team, it has the club team, which is the one I ended up playing on, and then it has the recreational team. So basically, I went in there knowing that I'm getting the most out of my opportunity. I'll be able to play basketball, which is what ended up happening. I didn't play for the NCAA Division II team because Adelphi is a D2 school. I really did want to play for their Division II team. I can't lie to you, I really did. But I think the best situation worked out for me. It was just a lot on me right then and there. I had to juggle a lot my first year. Pretty much every year I had to juggle a lot. But it was just good to know that I had a foundation going in there. So I'm just going to tell you year by year what I did, some of the stuff that was included in that year, and then pretty much my overall feeling about my experience at Adelphi. So I had committed to Adelphi University, and pretty much I had the whole summer of 2018 to just have fun and be myself. Then I got to campus in September of 2018, or August 2018, my mistake. So August of 2018, I arrived on campus there, and I basically had just launched my new retail company, Million Made. So I'm actually wearing and representing it. If you can see, I'm still going strong with it. But yeah, I had launched the business back in August of 2018. So when I first arrived on campus, I was advertising stuff for that. And basically, I just wanted to make sure everybody knew about it, and I was just making my way. But I just wanted to say that my freshman year, I got there, cool things happened. I ended up playing on the Adelphi Club men's basketball team my freshman year. It was a pretty cool experience. I got to travel, so that's the one big difference, because it's kind of a mixture of playing on the NCAA Division II team and playing recreationally. So you weren't being on the club team, you weren't playing for the NCAA, but you were still able to travel to different schools and play them. So we got to play at Montclair State. I know they're a Division III school, but the thing was, we still got to play and travel. So it was just a good feeling and a good experience. But basketball was fun my first year. That was pretty much all I did in terms of like basketball on campus. After that, I had just played on my own for the rest of the years I was there. Like, I just played whenever I felt like it. I wasn't on the club team after my freshman year. But during my freshman year, I became an admissions ambassador. And another cool thing I forgot to mention was, even though I didn't play on the NCAA Division II Adelphi men's basketball team, I was the manager. So I was the team manager. So the cool thing about that was I got to be around the team. I got to be around some of the players. And I actually got to scrimmage with them, not all the time, but there was a moment, I think maybe towards the end of the year or end of the season, I got to scrimmage with the team and I scored. So back to what I was saying, I had a really good freshman year. I did a few different things, but overall it was a good experience and I enjoyed it. So going into my sophomore year, I knew that I had to focus more on my major and I had to focus more on like just the arts in general, because during that period I got an acting contract, so I gotta make sure I'm focused on that and I'm juggling school. So it's like I'm in and out of the city often to be on acting shows and television shows, and stuff like that. But then I'm also doing modeling and being in the city for that. But I'm also a student. And on top of that, I'm running a business. So like, there were, excuse me, there were a lot of factors that went into it. And so my sophomore year, what I did is I basically went into a club. It's called Black Students United. Excuse me. So I went into a club called Black Students United. I was there for a brief period of time, you know, just wanted to commingle with other people of color, other people like myself, and learn more about each other and our history. So I think it was just a great atmosphere. I enjoyed the conversations we had, and I just picked up a lot of good information and made a couple friends from it. Another thing I did, I joined the AU Pause web radio, and basically it's like a sit-down club where you can go into the booth or go into the TV room. Well, not the TV room, but the radio room, and I believe it was Earl Hall, yeah. But you can go into the room and record a podcast. So I was in there often, not all the time, but there were two other people. There was Tom Luthner. Shout out to Tom Luthner if you're watching this video, and Jake. So I'm trying to remember your last name, but you know who you are. So shout out to you both. We did a podcast episode on, I think, the NBA at the time. So it was pretty cool. You know, you could just go in there and really just be yourself and talk about topics that interest you. If it's not sports, maybe it's entertainment. If it's not entertainment, then maybe it's politics, and so on and so forth. So it was a good experience. But the biggest thing and the biggest club and organization that I joined while I was at Adelphi started in my sophomore year. That, my friends, was the Adelphi newspaper. I want to give a quick shout out to a few people. First, I want to say thank you to Liza Burby. She's an adjunct professor. You know, we had a good couple year run, or we had a couple good years there together, working together. I appreciate her helping me out through so many things, and she's been such a helper, and I appreciate her assistance and guidance to helping me become not only a better journalist, but a better college student. So shout out to Liza Burby. I appreciate your help, and it really does mean the world to me. I also want to shout out Olivia Franks. She was the editor-in-chief at the time when I got to the Adelphi newspaper, and I was just a kid, just a writer coming in. I didn't even really like to write that much. I was just doing it because I know that on top of having to be a presenter, you need to know how to write. And I was just coming there to gain more experience, and basically what I took on was a sports article, and I took it on, did pretty dang good, and it was so good that it happened to be one of the last articles of the semester. And in that semester, Olivia Franks, who was the editor-in-chief at the time, she was graduating. And she basically reached out to me and was like, hey, I saw your article, you did really good, and me and Professor Burby would like to know, would you like to step up to the plate and be a sports editor? So I was basically promoted to being a sports editor after one article that I wrote. So it was a great experience, and it's cool because Jake from the AU Paul's Web Radio, he was actually co-editor with me. So it was a cool experience. So shout out to Olivia Franks. Um, Basically stuck with that for a long time. And over the years, it just made it even better because I met so many people through the newspaper. I've worked with 2 other editor-in-chiefs, so I'll shout them out right now. I'll shout out Jacqueline Tracy. She was the next editor-in-chief after Olivia Franks. And then I'll also shout out Maria Giovanna Jumper, who was the editor-in-chief right before yours truly. So, but that's later on. That's later on. During my sophomore year, though, I was a co-editor-in-chief, or not co-editor-in-chief, but co-sports editor. And I just ended up helping out the other writers that would write for the sports section. I would make sure they're doing everything right and making sure that their punctuations are correct and just talking to them if they had any questions, just helping them out. That's what being a sports editor or an editor in general is all about, is just helping your fellow writers get better at what they do. So now fast forward to my junior year, which was supposed to be a hard year because that's when COVID hit. And at this time, we weren't really sure if we were going to go back to school because COVID happened at the end of my sophomore year, like second semester sophomore year, but into my junior year. So the newspaper had basically went to digital, and it was hard because like you didn't really get a chance to talk to people in person. I was on campus, which was cool, but I didn't have a roommate at the time. Like, things changed. So I had the whole room to myself. So it gave me opportunity to just think about life, think about what I wanted, and think about the future. But the one cool thing about this was it really changed the game for me. I was gung-ho about that paper my junior year. I was gung-ho about the paper. Eventually after that, I became the sole sports editor, and I took it over by storm. I was on it. I was making sure everybody was doing their thing. I was doing my thing because I also needed to write, and I was making connections all over the place. So it eventually led me, because I needed an internship, it eventually led me to doing extra things. So I went on LinkedIn, true story. I went on LinkedIn, and I did not have an internship at the time, but I hit up many different people on LinkedIn because I didn't know anybody. I was like, hey, my name is Maximilian Robinson. I'm just a student at Adelphi University. I'm a communications major. Here's my resume. I'm looking for a sports or entertainment internship. Could you help me out? I ran across somebody who gave me an opportunity, and that opportunity happened to be someone that works for the Yes Network. So that network is Yankees Entertainment and Sports. So basically, the network that promotes the New York Yankees, I was hired by them. So I want to say shout out to Robin Moore. That's her name, Miss Robin Moore. I believe she is the senior fields operations manager at Yes Network. So shout out to Robin Moore. I couldn't be more thankful to you for giving me my first internship opportunity in college, because I was able to be on the field at Yankee Stadium. I was able to be in the clubhouse. I was able to see when players were being interviewed, and I was able to be behind the scenes with the talent like Michael Kay, Meredith Marakovitz, don't tell me. Yeah, and David Cohn. So basically, I just had a good time, and I was just very thankful for it. So I appreciate you, Robin Moore, for giving me that opportunity. I will never forget it. Now, going into my senior year, I just want to be very thankful to everyone up to this point, because my senior year was my biggest year. and a lot of great things happened for me. So if you were on campus at Adelphi University between the years of 2018 to 2022, you might have heard of me. You may not have known me, but you might have heard of me. I've done a lot of things, and one thing that I really was thankful for was during my senior year, there was an opportunity to be selected by the Spirit Court, and I basically tried out or submitted to be a part of Spirit Court, and I was selected. And as being a part of Spirit Court, you are also entered in for a chance to become one of a select few of people. So basically, we have this award at Adelphi University called the prestigious Panther Award. It goes to students who go above and beyond, not only in the classroom, but in activities on campus and within the surrounding community. So it's crazy because I was just promoted my senior year. I was just promoted to not only, I was already the sports editor for the Adelphian newspaper, but then I became the editor-in-chief. So now I'm running the entire newspaper. You're talking about the news section. You're talking about the editorial section. You're talking about the opinion section. You're talking about sports. So you're talking about everything. And like I said, you're really the man of the paper, or woman if you are a woman running the newspaper. So like I said, when you become editor-in-chief, or when you become a leader of a club or an organization, you take great joy in that, and you do it to the best of your ability. So I was living the high life because I was so excited that I was nominated and named editor-in-chief, and then I was also named Spirit Court, or named to Spirit Court. And the icing on the cake, ladies and gentlemen, I was nominated, or awarded, I should say, one out of only 4 people out of a graduating class of 1,000 people to be named prestigious Panther. And that, my friends, is why I'm very thankful. So I just want to give a shout out to everyone on the committee. Dr. Sintwali Bakari, I really thank you, man, for the opportunity. I want to say thank you to Robin Kim. I want to say thank you to the whole selection committee and for looking out for me. And I also want to say thank you to Miss Joanna Templeton. I really appreciate what she said to me, because when I had won prestigious Panther, she actually sent me a text message and was like congratulating me. And that alone made me feel like, man, I made it. All the hard work and determination didn't go unnoticed. And people really recognized me for the hard work that I put in. So I was just so overwhelmed and so thankful for all of those great things that had happened. You know, being the editor-in-chief, being selected to Spirit Court, and then winning prestigious Panther. That was the game-changing moment in my senior year. I can tell you I was so happy after winning that award. But it didn't end there. It did not end there. Throughout my senior year, I obtained a job with the New York Islanders. So I was working with the New York Islanders hockey team, and it was great because they had just opened up their new arena, UBS Arena. And so it was just so many great things that had happened, man. Like, I know this video wasn't supposed to be this long, but like, man, I'm just so thankful for Adelphi University. I'm so thankful for the people I met there. I'm so thankful for everybody that just said thank you to me and like appreciated who I was. And even if we crossed paths and never really made a huge connection, or we were close then, but we're not close now, like, I just want to say thank you for it all, because you shaped me into the way I am today. So I did work for the New York Islanders for that 1 year I was there, my senior year, opening up of a new arena, UBS Arena. I was part of their hype team, so I would throw t-shirts to the crowd, get the crowd amped up and energized. I loved it, had a great time. I even met the team owner, John Ledecky. It was awesome, had an awesome time. And then at the end, or towards the tail end of my senior year, I started focusing more on conducting interviews, because this was something that the newspaper didn't really offer at the time, but I wanted to push it further. I wanted to do more, because when I became editor-in-chief, we were just coming out of the digital stage. So we were bringing the paper from digital back to paper. And so that's a hard thing to do. The layouts are different, everything is different. So I also want to say shout out to my staff. I know there's a lot of names, but my main staff, I just wanted to shout out Katie Farkas, Bianca Viana, Nicholas Rontanini, and Justin Crease. I appreciate all of you for working alongside me when I was editor-in-chief. You all made a big difference in my life. I thank all of you, and I wish you all nothing but success in the future. So thank you all for helping me. I appreciate you all. Thank you. But like I said, I also wanted to do more with the paper. So instead of just articles, we added as a group, we added cartoons. So the newspaper didn't really have that before. And during my tenure, we added cartoons back to the newspaper. We also added ads back to the newspaper, because I was an advocate for our writers and our students getting paid. I wanted to see that happen. So we got a few ads in there, and it didn't equate to a whole lot of money, but it was something. It was something to be happy and proud about, because we worked together as a team. So just looking back on it, I'm very thankful. I'm very appreciative for everybody I worked with. And the last thing I want to mention is, as far as interviews go, I'm very fortunate and thankful I was able to interview 3 people while I was at Adelphi University. Chuck D, Public Enemy, who is a hip-hop artist famously known back in the early 90s. He was a part of the rap group Public Enemy. Taylor Armstrong. She is a part of the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, or she was. And also Dustin from Stranger Things, Gaten Matarazzo. All of you played a very pivotal part in my college career. And I'm very fortunate and thankful that I was able to interview all of you. And I had a great time with every single one of you talking to you. So thank you for that opportunity. And I appreciate all that you all done for me. And the last thank you that I want to give is to Tiffany Martino. I want to say thank you to her, because she helped orchestrate that. So basically, when these celebrities came to campus, she was the one behind the scenes giving me permission to interview them. So I just want to say thank you to Tiffany Martino. I really appreciate you, and I appreciate the opportunity for just being in that position to help me out. And it definitely goes a long way. So thank you so much for that. But outside of that, I just want to say thank you to everyone that I ran into. I just want to say thank you to everyone that I shared some time with. I want to say thank you to just Adelphi University for being the game-changing university in my life. Without it, I wouldn't be where I am today. So, just very thankful. I appreciate those who listened to this entire video. I know there's more I can thank, but like I said, I'm just very thankful for everybody I ran into. And comment down below if we ran into each other, or if you're like, hey, I remember this kid. He was nice. He did this. He did that. Or so on and so forth. I probably will remember, but like I said, it's all about just having a good time. And Adelphi is where I had a good time. So once a Panther, always a Panther. Go Panthers. But that is the end of the video. I hope you all enjoyed it. Again, shout out to the class of 2025. You guys did your thing. And shout out to the class of 2022, because yours truly was a part of that crew. But it's been another game-changing episode, another game-changing video. I appreciate everybody who watched. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment down below. And of course, do me a big favor, follow me on Instagram at KingMaxMillion. It would be much appreciated. It's been real, y'all. This is Maximilian Robinson. Take care. I hope everybody has an awesome day. Peace.